Hello and welcome back to When the Mask Falls. This is episode 21, Work-Life Balance, the circus I keep pretending is organized. Work-life balance, supposedly a thing, right? Allegedly achievable. People post about it like they've cracked the code. Peaceful walks, meal prepping, yoga rooms, clean houses where the laundry folds itself and the dog walks its own damn self. Meanwhile, last week in therapy, my assignment was embarrassingly simple. Take the dog for a walk and make one homemade dinner. That's it. 2 small things for personal health. And what did I do? I bulldozed right past both those goals like they were optional suggestions on a menu and instead dove headfirst into work mode. I put my foot down, not in the direction of self-care, but back in the direction of productivity overload. Because if I'm honest, catching up on work gives me that instant gratification. My brain sees progress, tasks completed, numbers checked off. That's a high. That is validation. And this past weekend, when I got almost completely caught up, that felt like leveling up in life. Like, maybe if I just work a little harder and a little bit longer, then I'll finally earn the right to focus on me. There's irony there, I know, but welcome to my brain. My therapist said, walk the dog. My life said, here are 15 things more urgent. My therapist said, make a homemade dinner. And I said, DoorDash lives here now. And I justified every bit of it. I wasn't just sitting around ignoring my goals. I was working. I had a mountain to climb at work and somehow scaled most of it between Friday night and Sunday evening. That is a sense of accomplishment that's hard enough to argue with. But meanwhile, the house is still so close to being done, yet psychologically feels like a mile past where emotional capacity ends. It's like my subconscious has set up caution tape around the entire project. So instead of facing the overwhelming tasks behind those walls, I revert to the areas where I can prove to myself that I'm not failing at everything. It's a vicious cycle. Avoid the thing that scares me, complete something else, feel better temporarily, repeat. The week itself wasn't exactly slow either. I was barely home. Between Rotary events, and I'm not talking just Rotary meetings, we had our huge fright night, our Eradicate Polio walk, and we have our networking night coming up. And we had a board meeting last week on top of everything else as well. My work deadlines, mom responsibilities, and making sure that family time doesn't disappear completely. Carving pumpkins with my dad and Gabby made the list because that's something I refuse to sacrifice. Those moments matter. But all the while, I lived off Taco Bell and Bob's Burritos. And at this point, I'm convinced Gabby is going to just start speaking Spanish fluently because it's literally what fuels our existence lately. I would love to say that I didn't have the energy to cook, but the truth is, I don't have the time. By the time I got home each night, my brain was fried. The thought of chopping a vegetable felt like asking to solve a quantum physics problem. So food came in a paper bag, the dog waits another day, and exhaustion became the soundtrack of my week. And now as I look ahead at tomorrow, therapy day, I can already feel my eyelids drooping just thinking about it. My schedule is completely stacked. Work during the morning, executive meetings in the morning, second round of interviews for my fiscal assistant position after that for the afternoon, Rotary networking tonight immediately after work, and then therapy directly after that. That's my grand finality. It's basically the Olympics of overcommitment, and although therapy is supposed to be time for me, I know walking in exhausted and depleted is going to come with questions. He's going to expect more from me than just putting a weekly session on the calendar and treating it like my sole personal health accomplishment. I respect the intention, but I also already know how guilty I'm going to feel when I admit that I did not achieve any of the goal I set this week. Thursday is allegedly my quiet day. I'm hoping that by then I'll have fully closed our books and can transition into our audit prep. We have 4 audits coming up, which normally would have set my blood pressure through the roof, but strangely, I'm not stressed this year. Either my meds are finally mellowing me out, or I am simply more confident in my work. Even if I literally just got caught up this past weekend. But here's the thing. I actually enjoy the audit season. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when someone else finally looks at my work and makes sure I'm doing things correctly, it makes me feel secure. It gives me external accountability, which is something that I absolutely crave. Because doing a job no one else truly understands means constantly questioning whether I'm doing it right. Even if there's no negative feedback, silence rarely feels like a praise. Friday, the car goes into the shop and we'll find out just how responsible my daughter feels like being that day. If she forgets to pick me up, that's an 8-mile round trip walk. 4 miles home and 4 miles back to pick up the car in the lovely crisp fall weather. At least I'd accidentally fulfill the exercise goal my therapist set for me. After that adventure, I plan to go to my dad's house to hand out Halloween candy because we don't get a single trick-or-treater where we live. It's so depressing. And I love Halloween. I want to see the costumes and excited little sugar goblins running the door to door. Since that doesn't exist at my house, I bring the Halloween joy to Dad's neighborhood instead. I might work from home that day, or maybe take the day off. Probably both, because apparently I don't know how to commit to real rest even when I pretend I might. Then comes Saturday. Guests to entertain, a house that needs to look somewhat civilized, and the cat room has to get finished. And the big embarrassing truth, my bedroom. It is so bad that I don't even feel safe turning on the heat upstairs yet. Something is either under it or too close to the radiator, and my fear of creating a sudden bonfire keeps me from flipping that switch. But when I finally finish my room, I know I will feel better. The relief will be immediate. It's just sitting there that feels like I'm wading through concrete. I tell myself every week this is the week, and yet accomplishments elsewhere feel easier. Work gives me quick dopamine. House progress feels like emotional exposure and vulnerability. From my point of view, everything feels like a balanced life. Work, home, Rotary, family, the rescue, my mental health, they all matter to me. And I give them all time. So technically, isn't that balance? But anyone on the outside would look at my schedule and say, that's not balance. That is burnout with a calendar. Stillness terrifies me. When I sit still, my brain doesn't stop. It ramps up, telling me every single thing I should be doing. And rest, that feels like a trap. Like I'm falling behind, like a failure. So I keep going and going and going. Will I ever figure out a truly healthy work-life balance? I honestly don't know. But I do know this. I am trying. Even if the trying looks chaotic as hell. Maybe tomorrow I'll walk the dog. Probably not. Maybe I'll make one homemade dinner. Maybe that's enough. And if not, well, I do know the Taco Bell drive-thru like the back of my hand. Take one moment, just one, and think about yourself. What is one small thing you can do this week that is genuinely for you? And what is one thing, just one, that you can allow yourself not to do? Balance doesn't suddenly appear when everything is perfect. It's built on tiny choices we give ourselves permission to make. Thank you for listening to my chaos, the overbooked planner, the fast food dinners, the house that might be plotting its own demise, and the constant attempt to find space for myself in between. If you're carrying a life that feels just as heavy, please know the trying matters, the effort counts, and your exhaustion doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're showing up. This is When the Mask Falls, and I'll see you next week, probably with even more to do and still trying to call it balance.